call the meeting to order on December 15th at 7, I can't see my time, 7:01. And I will seat Bill for Todd, and Don, if you want to read the call.
I just need to see it.
So,
Oh, there isn't a call, is there?
hello, there is no call.
There is no call.
Oh,
Okay.
that's right. Good.
Thank you, Linda. All right. I don't remember, I'm looking at your agenda. I don't remember doing roll call last time. Did I not? Well, I'll do it this time. Moriarty here. Ferguson,
Here.
Goodman,
Here.
Levinson,
Here.
Brady, absent. Peter
Here.
and Linda.
I'm here.
Thank you. All right, we have no public communications. We don't have, I'm sorry, we don't have any pre-applications. I don't see anybody, right?
No, we do not.
All right, public communications.
No, we do not.
All right, approval of the minutes from December 1, 2020.
Move to approve.
I second.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh.
sorry.
No worries.
Did you catch Bill's second, Linda?
I did. Yes, thank you.
All in favor, Moriarty, aye. Ferguson,
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Levinson.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Old business.
Did we ever get the list of materials from
That was my question.
Fort Rachel crowd?
Nothing has been handed in as far as what I've got. I don't know if Tom's been corresponding, but I've received no correspondence from Tom on it.
Okay.
I don't think you're gonna get those for a while. He seemed pretty far off from construction documents. Unless he writes a list, I don't know.
You're talking about 11 Fort Rachel?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one question for me, because it actually makes a difference as to the procedure. Now, he's given a conditional certificate of appropriateness. When I was processing that, I was thinking that he does not get his certificate of appropriateness until he submits and we approve of his materials. Is that actually how it happens?
It says with stipulations, but I don't see the stipulations listed.
In the one I signed, I believe, I'd have to go back and look that it said what it was, but I guess my question is he permitted to move forward with that? Or does he have to satisfy our requirements first? Because my intention was he couldn't move forward.
Yeah, so we'll do it that way. We will not let him move forward until he does satisfy
Okay.
everybody.
Just wanted to make sure.
Doesn't look like the vote tally on this is correct. I can't see the top part, but,
I think that was the first one.
Yeah.
Here's the one right here.
oh, okay. All right. All right.
Okay. Is there any other old business? Anyone have any questions?
How come Sarah's not on the, that one?
Where?
He's right there at the
I'm
top.
just at the
Oh,
top.
okay. It's split up. Okay.
I got
got it.
separated.
Yeah. All right.
Quick, but on material stuff, I was looking back at the plans that we had submitted to you all for the 3 Water Street thing. And Peter had listed some of the materials as boral. This is back to that technical thing, but we ended up using solid gold, which is wood. It's just treated pine and primed. So I'm just going to resubmit a set of plans with changes in the materials.
Okay.
I don't think it's anything major, but we didn't use the composites.
I think that's fine. I think that how did we do it with Sully? Did he just, with Sully and Bob Mercer, this is a little bit different, but they just submitted a letter and submitted the change, and it just got attached to the file. And then we referenced it under old business, that there was a change to the materials of the project. Does that sound reasonable?
I mean, I can just submit an application for an amendment too. It's not a big deal.
So back to Sully, what Bob did was actually submit something that you took care of administratively. I
Right,
think
and
it was like a memo or whatever, and you handled it administratively, and subsequent to that, he sent you the specs on what he actually used. So, just for reference, that's how that was done.
But didn't we tie that in under old business?
Yes, eventually we did. I think initially it came under new business.
Okay,
And then once he submitted the new specs, that was under old business. And that's kind of how that tied in.
okay,
I don't know that that's the cleanest way
yeah,
in terms of what we've done in the past. In the past, it's always been an application to modify in a COA. And I don't know that what was done in the past is the best way to go.
well, I think Bob's was a little different because his change was not seen from a public way. He just happened to include that material on his plan in an effort to
Okay.
be more thorough. But in this instance, if you want to submit an amendment, I think that's fine, especially like we've been having some applications where nobody's been really attending. It's almost as if we're handling it administratively anyhow. Like we just move through the application and grant it, if it's something like that.
Yeah, I'm not particularly worried about it.
I know, I was just trying to provide you an answer.
Yeah, no. I think I just was trying to look back at the old set of plans and see. It just was on a note, but I think he had said like boral trim and PVC trim, and we use solid gold. We still have to use some PVC, so I don't know. It's like I'm not even really changing anything, but he was just kind of generic in it. But now I can't even find it, so I don't even know. Oh, here it is actually. Yeah, he said all composite trim casings and decorative moldings, but it's not. Some's wood and some's composite.
Mm.
I mean, like I said, I don't mind just doing an amendment thing and just sending in the new set.
All right. Okay. New business? You've lost me here.
I have a question for Linda and Kevin that might, it's always struck me the way we do the hearings where we hear like the evidence all in a row, each case, and then we start over again to vote on them. And I don't know, it seemed kind of like, always seemed awkward to me, like especially like last time where we had like a real short one up front. And then if he had to really hang in there, you have to wait for us to get through the whole extended discussion on Fort Rachel Place and then come back to him. I'm just wondering with Kevin and Linda, how do the other boards and commissions do it? Do they do it the way we do it, where they, basically go through the cases twice?
So first of all, I love the sainted Kevin, but it's Peter now.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry. All right. It's been a long day.
It's interesting because a lot of the other commissions don't always have public hearings, and you folks always have public hearings. So that's very interesting because they don't always have to go through all of that. In the past, if it's been something where it's going to be very lengthy, the commission has said, why don't we vote on this, and this, and and wait and get that out of the way so these folks can leave, and then go to the more lengthy one. And it's really, I think it's up to how you all want to conduct business Unless, Pete has another thought, from the other towns that he participates in.
That's what they usually do there too. If they know something's gonna be lengthy on the agenda, they'll request to they'll move and switch around the agenda a little bit. But the board handles that. The board handles that and just makes a motion to switch the agenda items.
But do they do it the way we do it, where, we have the discussion for each one individually and then we go back and vote on them separately?
Yes, you still have to do that, yeah.
Yeah, definitely you have to do it that way.
I mean, why can't we just hear them, discuss it and vote on it, one at a time in order like that?
Because you have your public hearings first, and then you go through the voting afterwards.
You'd have to be opening and closing and opening and closing, right?
I think you'd have to look at that and also Robert's rules of how they go about it. I've never seen it where they've done it that way.
Okay. Just a thought, I was just curious. Do you know, Sarah, was this the way it was done even before I came on? It's just as long as you've been on, it's always been done this way?
This is the way I always remember doing it, or this is the way I've always seen it done, where you always have the public hearings, you don't close them and then vote and then reopen them. Because really, once you give from my perspective, and we can look at Robert's rules to see if there's a way to change it. I'm always opening to making it, easier for everybody. But staying for the voting and discussion, they don't have to. It's more of, it's a desire on their part. Like they've already given their argument and their proposal, and they can't speak again. Like if they don't like what we're saying, they really don't have a choice. So it's their option to stick around and hear what we have to say and hear our vote, or they can just wait and call in the morning and say, hey, what I miss.
I think the theory on that is if it's a fast moving agenda item, they know it's pretty much a slam dunk. And so they don't have to stick around for it. So they know they'll get the approval tomorrow.
Just, just curious. If people thought it would move faster that way, but I don't know if it makes any difference.
And I just, to follow up that train of thought, I do think on the other commissions, if there are more than one, if there are public hearings and there is more than one, I think the public hearings are heard, that part of the agenda is closed, and then the consideration is opened up.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah, I mean, I think we more align with what ZBA does, and I'm pretty sure that's how they do it.
Okay. All right, and I guess like Peter said, if we have a case where we know it's going to be real short and then we have followed by something we know it's going to be real long, we could just modify it.
Right, within the public hearings, we can shuffle people around pretty easily.
And most people are willing to move their agenda item if it's going to help them get along quicker.
Right.
Okay. All right, that's all I had on that.
Okay. Any new business? Nope. All right, then we're adjourned.
Oh, is this a-
Can I ask a quick question, a clarification question before we adjourn?
Sure.
Is that okay? So I don't want to say I'm hung up on Fort Rachel, but I'm still kind of, so that's new construction. So that means they have kind of different guidelines that they fall under as opposed to a renovation. So that's why it's easier for them to have kind of outlying aspects that don't fit into a box per se.
Right, so the guidelines say that new construction should not mimic a different historic structure. Should be new.
Right. But
I don't want to go on a tangent, but what I just don't understand is the commission. I know different commission, different people. I get that whole thing, but that property has consistently been denied. And then he comes with something that's relatively out of the box. And we allow it. I mean, I'm okay with it. It's fine. It's how boards work. It's not a big deal, but I just don't get it.
Well, I mean, there's lots of things if you look over that certain commissions, ours as well, that have been previously denied and that we've approved. I mean, we approved a roof that the Superior Court denied.
Well, you're talking about up on High Street.
Yeah.
They denied it. They denied it because the original commission denied it. They didn't deny it because the roof violated our.
Right, but I guess what I'm saying is it went from the HDC to the appeal, and then after they lost the appeal, they came back because there were new commissioners to see if we would approve it, and we did.
Okay.
Well, and not to open a can of worms and the whole discussion, but I drove by there again and drove up and down the street several times. And I don't know, I'm still convinced you're going to barely see that because of the way the hill is and with the property, the new construction being set back. I mean, maybe the neighbor who lives across the street from down below and the angle of his house, you know, maybe he would see more, but just driving up and down the street, I mean, you can barely see past the cliff as it is.
I think you're going to be surprised, but let them build it. I mean, we approved it. So
Yeah.
I'd spent a lot of time on that street. I mean, I lived there for a year, so I'm pretty intimately familiar with it. And I think it's going to be, I just, like I said, we approved it. So it's not even worth talking about again, but talking about a very tall structure. I mean, that's literally 3 Water Street moved over there.
And my whole point for bringing it up was just the idea of it being it can't be a precedent for future renovations.
Well, I mean, precedent is an interesting word in my perspective on this commission, because, you know, the statute says that, you know, it fits within the fabric of the community, right? You can find a lot that fits within the fabric of the community. So it's really a moving target, you know. Eric pointedly asked me a question, do I think that this roof is going to set a precedent for future structures? And no, I think that we look at them and improve them on a case-by-case basis. And if it fits, then I would vote for it. And if it doesn't fit, then I wouldn't.
I mean, it makes me feel a lot better that you're taking the position that precedent to some extent doesn't matter, because then that does do what Bill just asked, which is prevent people from coming in and saying, well, you did it there.
Right.
And I'm okay with that. Like, I think that's fine.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I just wanted clarification because I'm new.
Yeah, and Bill, I think it's different. I mean, if you have like, you know, an 1840s federal style house and somebody wants to do an octagonal greenhouse attachment, you know, we're going to look at that
Right.
differently than, you know, a totally new
Right.
construction, you know?
Right. No, and I'm not trying to be argumentative in any way. I'm just, like I said, I'm just trying to get clarification that I don't want someone to, on that 18th century federals, to say, oh, but this new construction guy did it, so I should be able to do it. That's my fear.
That's what I was worried about as well. But
No. If I look back to my own voting, I have voted for vinyl fences in certain locations, and I have voted against them in certain locations, and I voted for solar panels in certain locations and against them. It really just depends. How I look at it, it depends on the
Case by
structure,
case.
the location, the importance.
Okay. Yeah,
So
thank you. I don't mean to prolong the meeting. I just wanted to.
Well, you broke our record. We were going to close.
I know.
Oh, I'm sorry. I screw up everything I do.
I think our record's like 4 minutes. We weren't gonna make it.
yeah, as I said, we walked in once, we walked out about a minute later.
That's right. We wanted to get out of there before anybody came in.
I'm sorry.
All right. Does anyone have anything else before we adjourn?
No.
All right. Well, then I move to adjourn.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah,
Thank
happy
you.
holidays, everybody. Enjoy the
Thank you.
time with family.
Bye.
Apologies.